Slade Wilson, widely recognized as Deathstroke, is a complex and fascinating character within the DC universe. Renowned as one of the most formidable and lethal professional mercenaries, his past is filled with both triumph and tragedy. He was 16 when he decided to join the United States Army, but he had to lie about his age to get in. After fighting bravely in the Korean War, he found himself at Camp Washington, where he was given the rank of major. During the early 1960s, he met a woman named Adeline Kane, a captain in the Army. Her job was to teach the younger soldiers some new ways of fighting because there were signs that a war was going to start in a place called Vietnam. Adeline noticed right away that Slade was really good at fighting and that he learned quickly, adjusting to the new techniques she was teaching. She fell in love with him and realized that out of all the fighters she had met, he was the best. She decided to teach Slade a type of fighting called guerrilla warfare, giving him private lessons. In just 1 year, Slade had become an expert in all the different ways of fighting she taught him, and he got another promotion, this time to lieutenant colonel. They got married soon after, and within 6 months Adeline was expecting their first baby. However, the war in Vietnam became worse and Slade was sent to fight there. During the war, something terrible happened. His unit ended up destroying an entire village, which really made him feel awful. At one point, he was rescued by a man called Wintergreen, who was part of a group called the SAS. Slade would later be able to return the favor and help Wintergreen. The Army saw potential in Slade and picked him for a highly secretive experiment. They gave him a special drug that allowed him to use almost all of his brain's power, giving him abilities that are beyond what a normal human could do. With this drug, he became stronger, faster, and his senses were heightened. Plus, his body could heal itself quickly when injured. The Army was trying to create super soldiers with superhuman abilities for the US military. Not long after the experiment, Slade broke the rules to save his friend Wintergreen. Wintergreen had been sent on an extremely risky mission by an officer who held a grudge against him. By saving Wintergreen, he set himself on a new path as a mercenary, someone who works as a soldier but for anyone who will pay them. Even though his wife was an expert in training people to fight, Slade kept his new career a secret from his family. A notorious criminal who went by the name Jackal had his sights set on his younger son Joseph Wilson. Jackal's plan was to hold Joseph hostage and use him as leverage to get information from Slade. Specifically, he wanted the name of a client who had hired Slade for an assassination. Despite the immense danger his son was in, Slade refused to give up the name, standing by his personal code of honor. Taking matters into his own hands, he went after the kidnappers. He tracked them down to their meeting spot and launched a surprise attack. He successfully took out the criminals, but tragedy struck in the chaos of the confrontation. One of the kidnappers managed to slash Joseph's throat, causing serious damage to the young boy's vocal cords. The injury left Joseph mute, forever changing his life and adding another layer of pain and guilt to Slade's conscience. After ensuring Joseph received medical attention at the hospital, he faced the wrath of his wife Adeline. She was livid that his choices had resulted in their son being put in grave danger. In a moment of intense anger and despair, Adeline attempted to take Slade's life by shooting him. However, her aim was slightly off, and the bullet only managed to hit his right eye. Despite the severity of his injury and the fact that he was now left with impaired vision, Slade's confidence in his physical capabilities remained unwavering. He refused to be ashamed or secretive about his missing eye, choosing instead to embrace it as a part of who he was. This decision is evident in his signature mask, which features a black featureless half covering where his right eye used to be. When he isn't wearing his mask, he covers his missing eye with an eye patch. The events of that fateful day left a lasting mark on his appearance and identity,